The cybersecurity certification industry would love to keep you broke and certified forever. There's always one more cert, one more voucher, one more, oh, you should really have this one too. I've been doing this for 20 years and I've taken or paid for a lot of these certs. Some genuinely got me hired. Some were just some effort and some studying that you would need to do instead of spending the money for the actual cert. So here's the honest ranking: which certs actually move the needle, which ones you might consider skipping for now, and the exact order in which to get them. If you appreciate this kind of content and these kinds of straight answers, gently tap that like button for me. It lets me know that I need to make more of these videos for you, so let's get into this one. This is rung 3 of the cybersecurity career ladder, the security foundation. And before I rank a single cert, I have to tell you the most important thing about them, and I learned it really the hard way. Early in my career, I had Microsoft certs, I had Cisco cert, I had military IT experience, and a security clearance. Presumably a stacked resume on paper, and I still ended up getting a lower level job in a factory refurbishing computers. Because certs alone do not get you hired. A cert is a key that can open up doors, but it's not the thing that gets you on the other side. So keep that in your head the entire video, because it changes how you spend your money. The goal of the cert is to get you past the filter. And once you understand that, you stop collecting your certs like trophies and you start buying them like they're tools. So here's what happens to most people. They feel behind, so they buy a cert. They feel a little bit more confident, so they buy another cert. Pretty soon they've got an alphabet soup behind their name and still really no job, because they use cert collecting as a way to feel like they were making progress without doing the scary part, which is applying and building your real work. So if you got 3 certs and 0 interviews, the more certs isn't really your answer. And I've seen this from the hiring side. A lot of times I'll look at resumes and I'll see a cert and I'll say, okay, that's great, but let me look at the real meat of the resume and see what actually work that they've done with those same skills from that certification. Now let's discuss the ones that are worth your money in the order that they matter on this ladder. The Foundation, CompTIA A+, and Network Plus. Those are rungs 1 and 2. They're not glamorous security certifications, but this is IT bedrock work. This is stuff you need to understand: networking, systems. You need to understand the basics to understand how to defend them and how to break them. And this is what I did when I got into the Air Force. I took certifications learning networking, learning systems, learning computers, learning hardware, software, and eventually moving up into security roles or into security discussions and security certs that actually years passed. So the big one is Security Plus. Here's the truth right now, and you need both halves. Half 1, you basically have to have it, Security Plus. By some counts, around 89% of hiring managers won't even interview an uncertified candidate for a security role. So without it, software will filter you out before a human even looks at your resume. It also satisfies Department of Defense requirements for government contract work, which matters if you're going the security clearance route. Half 2, everybody else has it too. People in this field now call Security Plus the new A+. So it's become a very common cert and not really an edge. So get it, yes, but understand what it actually does. It gets you in the door. It's not the thing that makes you stand out once you're inside. One specialized cert, pick your direction. After Security Plus, get one cert that points where exactly you want to go, whether it's blue team defensive, something like CISSP plus, draw to the offensive side, like where I was at, get a hands-on cert that makes you actually break into machines, something like OSCP. Now that's a really difficult cert. There are more budget-friendly types of certs, maybe like Hack the Box and TCM's certifications. Skip the multiple choice theory type of exams like CEH, unless there's a specific job that's asking for it. Hiring managers can tell the difference between someone who passed a quiz and someone who's actually popped a box, cracked passwords, actually done security work. So from my experience, I was able to take SANS courses. So I took the pen test course for SANS, some other security courses on intrusion detection, and those were really good foundational technical courses that had you do actual work in the VMs. So those are really helpful. A little bit expensive though, so you might need to get some help from your employer or save up to get those kinds of certs. So this is the biggest shift in the whole career field, and most career advice channels are a few years behind on it. Cloud security certifications, AWS, Azure, now pull roughly the same job demand as the traditional certs. So the gap is closing fast. On-premises security roles are shrinking by something like 15% a year, while cloud roles grow to 25% a year. So I lived the back half of my career watching everything move into the cloud, into the development pipeline. So trust me on this, if you add a cloud security cert on top of your foundation, you're skating where the puck is going instead of where it's already been. You don't have to love cloud, but ignoring it right now can put a ceiling on how high you can really go. Quick side real quick for those in uniform in the military, there are ways to pay for these certifications and these educational opportunities through tuition assistance and the GI Bill, and I'll cover that in a next video. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe, and we'll talk about that later. Now the certifications people waste money and time on at the wrong stage. CISSP. It's a great certification. Maybe it's the wrong time for now. It's a management level type of certification, requires experience and actually around 5 years of experience to even hold it. Chasing it before you have a job is climbing the ladder upside down. So leave that one to the side for now and you'll be ready to take that later. So if you're thinking of stacking vendor certs before you have a job, that might not pan out either because you might be looking at a different job that doesn't require that specific vendor or has a different vendor that they're actually using and what they're requiring for their job. So I'm not saying that these certifications are bad, but the timing might not be right, and we'll get to that rung of the ladder when we're ready for it. So here's what every cert in the world can't do. Prove you can actually do the work. So the certs that got me hired really got me past the filter. What actually got me hired and promoted over and over was being able to show that I've actually done the work. I fell in love with this field by installing firewalls and living in the Linux environment, command line, and no cert really taught me that. The cert taught me the concept. The lab and the job actually is what taught me the skill. So what you need to do is you need to get the cert, but at the same time, you need to get the hands-on proof that you know what you're talking about and you're able to do what the certification is talking about. So your Security Plus means 3 times as much when it's sitting next to a documented project that you'd actually done and shows that you've applied the work. Certs plus proof. That's the whole formula for rung 3, and set your expectations realistically. For most people doing this right, it's a 6 to 18 month climb to the first security role, not a 90-day boot camp miracle. So if you take one thing from this video, make it this: don't out-cert your experience. You need to keep your certs and your experience on an even level. People who get stuck are the ones who keep buying certs and certs and certs and certs instead of building the proper project or that you need to apply for the next role. Certs support your climb, but they are not the climb. So do me a favor right now, tell me in the comments where you are on the cert path. 0 certs if you're studying Security Plus or you're drowning in alphabet soup. I'll read every one of your comments and I'll give you a response. Now, if you're a veteran or you're still in uniform and wondering how to pay for all this without emptying your savings, the next video is specifically for you: how to use GI Bill, tuition assistance, and fund your entire cert stack in the right order and on the military's dime. If you're not a vet, subscribe anyway. The salary video is right after that one, and I'm going to show you the real numbers at every stage of my career. Buy the key that opens the door for you and nothing more. I'll see you in the next one.